I always joke and say that they high-fived each other on the way to heaven and on the way to earth because they are so alike. Hi, my name is Leticia and I am here to tell you my testimony. My health journey starts about 7 years ago when just after I got confirmation from God that I can start my own business. I was excited, I was ready, I was wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, I was gonna defeat the world and conquer every mountain. And just after that, I got a phone call from my mother telling me that she's got breast cancer. I packed up my laptop, I got on the first airplane, and I started my business on airplanes and in hospital rooms. When I looked at the scan, I saw that the cancer in my mother's body was not only in her breast. The spots that was in her breast was also right across her body. It had already metastasized into her bones and into her body before they even detected the breast cancer. In 2016, I lost my mother to cancer. Fast forward a little bit into 2017, I became pregnant and had my firstborn. I always joke and say that they high-fived each other on the way to heaven and on the way to earth because they are so alike in every single way. At the birth of my firstborn, the midwives and the doctors that was there described it as a very traumatic birth, which I didn't want to accept. It was my reality, and I was going to enjoy my new baby, my new healthy baby. I was in pain for about 6 weeks after that, though. I was bleeding still, and I had to go in for an operation. She found something on my womb that looked strange, that they removed, and from there it was better, but I lived with pain for about 2 years after that, where I couldn't stand for more than 2 minutes without feeling excruciating pain in my pelvis. Within this 2 years, we tried again because we really wanted our babies close together. I had 2 very early miscarriages, and I went to the doctor for intervention. He spoke to me about what was happening in my womb and gave me medicine to say that if I fall pregnant again, I must take the medicine and just wait. And it worked. So this time I became pregnant with my second-born. 2 weeks after my second-born, I felt something was very off. Something was wrong. I was in the shops and I immediately went home. When I got home, I started getting fevers. I started bleeding again, and I started blacking out the next morning. I went to the doctor. He took one look at me and said, something is not right. So he booked me into the hospital and started doing tests. I went to oncologists, gynaes, I went to different doctors. Everyone did not know what it was. Again, they saw something on my womb that didn't look right, and the consensus was to take it out. So 2 weeks after my second-born, I had to get a hysterectomy. I had to make the decision within a day, and right there and then, the dream of having a third child was taken away. Everyone thought that it was cancer. Luckily, it was not cancer. It was a different life-threatening thing, so it was the right decision. And our decision was based on, I had 2 beautiful girls. Why take the risk of wanting another child, but I could lose my life? It was a no-brainer for us. A month after my second-born, I got another phone call. This time it was from my dad. He had prostate cancer. I was stuck in Pretoria, my dad in Hermanus with his sister. I couldn't be with him. I was a world away from him, locked down with my own thoughts. I had no distractions, nowhere to go, and the traumas just kept coming back. So I started seeing psychologists just to see if there was something in the traumas that triggered my moods. I was emotionally all over the place. I would be up high and then down low all in the same day. I would get irritable. I was all over the place. She then sent me to a psychiatrist, and they wanted to put me on really strong medication and wanted to label me with kinds of mental health names, which I refused. I said, that is not me. That is not what I'm going to accept. So I decided to go to more doctors. I went to a doctor that could help me. He did blood tests. He tested every single thing. And he found out that I had about 5 vitamin deficiencies. I had half the hormones that a normal lady my age has. I had all kinds of things that wasn't in place where it should be. And I am so thankful that I did not accept that first label, because that was not what it was. I was burnt out. I was stressed. I was just not coping. So I got the right vitamins. I changed my lifestyle. I started eating healthily and I started exercising. And within a year, I felt so much better. But throughout this whole mental health journey as well, I was still seeing my dad on a laptop screen going through chemo without us. It triggered something in me to think about cancer that gets passed over from generation to generation. I went to a doctor again, got my blood test because something was not right. And lo and behold, I tested positive for the BRCA2 gene mutation. I booked my double mastectomy right there and then. I was not going to take the chance. Many people asked me, why didn't I just wait for a miracle or pray for a miracle, just believe for a miracle? But I really truly believe that my miracle was finding out about the BRCA2 gene and finding out about adrenal fatigue and burnout, because that saved my life. October 2020, I lost my dad to prostate cancer. And 3 weeks after we buried my dad, I went in for my double mastectomy. One of the hardest things that I've ever done, but so liberating. I was ready for the rest of my life. I was ready to take a bold step of faith, and it was the best decision that I could have made. I now am ready for the rest of my life. I feel strong, I feel brave, and I am ready. Last week, someone asked me, how did I keep my joy throughout everything? And I could pin it down to 5 things. Number 1, Pastor At and Pastor Naretta. Right before I went in for my operation, Pastor At also called me out. He prayed for me, and as a spiritual father, he encouraged me and he motivated me that I was doing the right thing, and it gave me so much courage. His sermons, to always get back up, to just take another step, get up, get showered, get dressed, and move on, encouraged me throughout the 7 years. Number 2 was my family, my husband and my children. We were strong for each other. When they were weak, I was strong. When I was weak, they were strong for me, and we kept each other going. Number 3 was serving in the local church. It is so important. That's the one thing that kept me strong, week in and week out. When there was weeks that I felt I could not get up, I could not go on, that was the one thing. I had made a commitment and I was going to be here. Number 4, our church leaders and our home cell. If it wasn't for the messages that came through, the weekly fellowship that we had in our home cells, I do not think that I would be standing here today. The prayers from our leaders, the encouragement, it means the world. And if you are not plugged into a local church, I do not know how you would survive something like this. And then finally, the biggest one of all is just God. Throughout everything, He was the one thing that remained constant. I call this my Job experience, or my seven skinny cows. But He always comes through for us. And in the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you go through, if it is healing you're looking for, it's coming. Your double portion is coming. Everything that you are looking for, your breakthrough, it is coming. And your miracle doesn't maybe look the way that you think that it is. Maybe it's through medicine. Don't just sit and wait. Go to the doctors, go see your leaders at church, and be part of the church, because that is where you're going to find your healing, your breakthrough, and your miracles.